Hey guys, welcome to part 1 of making a Minecraft modern house speed build, and right now I'm going to tell you what exactly is going on. So right now I was just kind of looking for area, changing my settings and stuff. I was just, I don't know, I was messing around. So then I was starting to get serious and stuff, so I was looking for a block, and I was trying to base it off a house already built. So I got a stone slab because that's how I started the house already built before. So then I just started placing around and all that, and I just kind of shaped it. Right now I was building the stairs actually, so I was just seeing how that would work and all that stuff. So it worked. It was working, I guess. I really didn't expect this house to be so grand as it turned out. But well, actually, this house isn't really a finished house. Actually, it's just this is the first part, and it's just the front of the house. So yeah, you can just take a look. I mean, this is the house I'm building. So I was trying to build like a porchy area. I don't know what I was really going for. It was pretty interesting, but that happened. So that's what happened, I guess. Then I was looking for some plants. I got really stumped here. I didn't know exactly what to do. I think I pulled out some random ones, then I'm like, okay, just pull out something. So I was getting all these stuff, and you just start placing them and all that. And yeah, and then I'm like, they're not even and everything, so I'm gonna place those like that. And then I'm like, it's too big, so then I get like 2 little ones. And then I'm looking for other things, I guess, at this point, and I used those because I didn't want to use the other thing. So I did that, and then it was there. So and then I came back to working to the stairs. Just making regular stairs, you know, nothing too complicated, of course, because here we don't get too complicated. And then I'm like, I'll just place some grass because I want to. And yeah, and then this is the moment. This is like the splitting point. I decided I'm not gonna base it off the house that I built before, and I'm just going to do something completely different and something much more grand than I've ever done. And I was typing in a reed, but it turns out you need sugar canes. It's called sugar canes, and I'm like, oh yeah, you need water. So I'm like, okay, I'll just put a stone slab there. I'll get some water, and then I'll put water in there, and then I can put it on there. But no, it doesn't work like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll just destroy that. And you know what? I'll just place some plants in there, which I did eventually. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, now I can use the rose bushes and the lilacs from before that I was gonna use there. I'm like, oh, I actually kind of like that. In just a moment, I'm gonna just switch those blue and whites. Yeah, see, and I'm going to put the lilacs and the rose bushes in to make it look nicer. So there we go, that's there. And it was starting to take a little bit of shape. It still wasn't the best yet. And yeah. Oh, so I decided to place some more stuff here. And then I think what happens is I go back to building my stairs. Yeah, that's what happens. So, you know, I was just kind of looking at it, seeing how it was going, and I just, yeah, that's that, I guess. And, oh, sorry if there's a little lag in this video, by the way. I've never done a fast-forwarded speed build like I did with this. Oh, there I just checked the time and stuff. Okay, here I am just placing some blocks in the little areas that you probably won't see too often in the house. So I don't know why I was doing that. But then I decided to place those blocks to make it a little wider. I took a look at it again, and I'm like, okay, let's start building the wall. And then I'm like, okay, I have a really good idea. So I start this really, really good idea, and you're going to see in a little bit, just very shortly. And I'm just kind of placing the blocks for it, as you can see in this speed build. Everything was just taking shape, you know, and I was doing a pretty good job, I guess. So yeah, I just kept placing blocks and stuff. Pretty straightforward. You can see what's going on the screen. And then I'm like, okay, let's start putting in stuff into this whole area thing that I made. And then I'm like, okay, hold on, let's have more plants, because I totally don't have any of those. So I just start putting those in. And I'm like, make it another like shape, L shape. And I'm like, oh, it's becoming dark. Let's make it nighttime and all that. Now I'm placing the rose bushes and lilacs again. And yeah, pretty straightforward, as you can see. Then I'm like, okay, finally we can place the stone slabs in here and everything. Whippy. And so I was doing that. And it took me just a second to do that all. And then I'm like, okay, let's start building this super fancy thing that I wanted to build. And I'm like, ooh, okay, there's a little bit of a space constraint here. So I just got rid of that wall and made more. So there we go. I'm starting to place some more stuff, making more room for me to work in. And then I started to build again, and I was doing good, you know, building what I'm gonna build. I wanted it to be a surprise, except it's not that good in the end. You're about to know what this is just now. Boom, you can get the idea. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty dang ugly. I'm just gonna place this here, maybe it'll look kind of goodish. And I'm like, no, this just doesn't look very good. So I just put the block there and made it a little taller, and it looked better, but still wasn't really feeling it. So I just broke everything. And, well, not everything, but, you know, you get the idea. So I started placing the ground in because I'm like, YOLO. And we were doing that, so I decided to do it. And there we go. I was just placing in blocks and those to fill the gaps. And I'm like, what can I do to make this better? And I'm like, perfect. So I left it there. I'm like, okay, let's add some little sitting things or whatever. I forget the name totally, so, you know. And I'm like, oh my god, it floats. So I'm like, okay, I'll just place slabs there, and I'm like, oh my god, that's hilariously ugly. So yeah, it was pretty laughable. So I'm like, okay, let's just delete that too. Then I'm just kind of screwing around, seeing what I could do with this place. Like, oh, let's add, oh yeah, it floats. And I'm like, okay, let's put it in the ground. Oh, right, okay, let's just take a look. No, this doesn't work. This just doesn't work. This doesn't work at all. So I'm like, hold on, actually this place can be up because of a later thing I'm going to do, which is make the house a lot, like, the place we're going to walk around in most of the time, the main house, is going to be raised. So I just kind of made it a level higher. But fun fact, I forgot to actually place the chairs in there. So, you know what? There's no chairs. Here I'm like, okay, let's start doing some stuff. And I was checking the time again to see how long I've been going. And I'm just dilly-dallying, you know, doing whatever I want to do, being YOLO swaggins and everything. And then I'm like, okay, we'll just extend this even more, because YOLO again with the YOLOs. And then I'm like, ooh, okay, what can I do here? Oh, I know what I can do here. It's gonna work really well. Well, it did work really well in the end. It actually looks pretty cool, but it took a little bit of work. So this is the beginning of it, and I was kind of an idiot at the beginning. I just kind of made a wall, and then I'm like, okay, water. No, that's not gonna work at all. So I'm like, okay, we'll just start fixing it. It won't be a big deal. I started adding some stuff on it, and I made that thing like on the top of the water thing because I felt like putting things on water. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm like, ooh, okay, that water is being annoying. Let's break it, and then I broke it and broke all the water. And then I'm like, okay, let's just put those there. This isn't the future. And then I'm like, oh, look, there's water there. I don't want that water to be there, so I'm just gonna kind of fix that. Oh, hold on. Poop. So I have to go in and I have to fix it all by myself. I do that, close it up again, and look at that. Got a waterfall. Right. So I continue to go on and do whatever I feel like doing because, you know, YOLO, that's the theme of the video. And yeah, and the modern mansion is coming out really cool. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be on inside the building. I'm gonna put glass behind this waterfall so you can see the water from the other side. That was a good idea. But now I'm thinking maybe I should have done that for the last one, and I never did. So, yeah, that kind of happened. It kind of happened a little bit, sort of. So I'm like, okay, let's just like destroy the glass because, you know, I need to place the water there. I'm like, okay, it's becoming late again. Let's put the time to 0. And I did that. So the time could be morning. And I was checking the time again. And the time was pretty good, so I kept going. Here, I just having water problems, I guess. So I put that there around. I'm like, oh, let's make this realistic, just a little bit more. So I'm like, okay, we'll put that around both of them. So the front is starting to take shape now. As you can see, the front was looking pretty good. So I just kept on adding to it, trying to make it as best as I could. As you can see, there's space underneath. That's a tip I have when building. Don't fill in what you really don't have to. Nobody's gonna go under there, so I do not have to fill that in. No one will be there. And it will not be visible. So I just leave it. It's much better way to do things, in my opinion. So I'm like, okay, there, that thing. Okay, I'm just trying to build doors. Why is it so complicated? And stuff. And yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of doing whatever I really want to, because that's how I roll. Yeah. So here, house is looking pretty good. I'm like, let's put a door because we need doors in the house to make the house go door. Now I had no idea what I was doing, but I just kind of put the slabs back. I don't really know what I was doing. Okay, so here I was, put door and then made that one opposing the other one. I'm like, okay, we need glass because that just seems too empty in the middle. I'm like, oh, but I don't like glass next to doors. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, okay, YOLO. And I added an air vent on it because, you know what? I just kind of felt like, you know, it's kind of looking through it and stuff because I felt like it. And I can feel like doing whatever I want to do as long as I'm doing whatever I want to do, because that's how you do things that you want to do. You do things how you want to do them. That made no sense. And so I was just kind of like, oh, what can I add? What can I add? Just gonna fly around everything. Whoop-hoo, 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 da-boo, da-boo, da-goo, da-boo, da-ba-doo, da-ba-doo. And I'm like, oh, look, thing. Yay. And I'm like, okay, fill that in. Look through the waterfall thingy, because that was pretty cool. And put that there and put those there. And from here, it's pretty straightforward. So I was just kind of doing what I felt like doing, you know? And so I did what I wanted to do. And that's how it turned out. Kind of. It's not done though, so there's like 2 minutes left on the video. So yeah, I was really desperate at this point. I was just trying to add whatever I possibly could to this house to make it look cool. So I was doing whatever I possibly could to make the house look cool. How did that work out for me? Well, it worked pretty well, I guess, because it started looking really good actually. Looking at the time again, and it looks pretty good. So I just kept going, man. I just kept going. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh, it's kind of just like this. Okay. So yeah, it was looking pretty good. And there was like a minute and 15 seconds left. I mean, about 10 now. I mean, this is just like, I just really was just doing whatever I could. By the way, there wasn't actually a minute left. This is all fast forwarded, as you could probably tell. So yeah, I'm like, oh, let's add some blocks here because I don't like it anyway how it is. And yeah, I placed some blocks there. Yeah, so there's that. Then I'm like, I have to make it symmetrical to the other side. I'll destroy that block right there and make it like symmetrical and all. And it was looking pretty good. And all that. So I'm like, let's do something really fast. Look at the house, What could I do? There's like no time left. I'm going to go place a sign. I run and I place a sign and I type in like master's house. Yeah. Click done and like, I don't like that sign. Okay, let's destroy it. And I'm like, okay, well, we are done.